Hello, welcome to video 7 of the Advanced Web course. So today we'll be learning how to make PHP forms using Notepad++. So first open up Notepad++. Once you have it open, go ahead, click File, and save, or save as actually. So once you have it as save as, type in whatever name you'd like. I'm going to put test and then make sure you have .php at the end. Okay, so once we have this done, we can start making our form. So what you'd first like to do is make an HTML tag so we can start off the form. And then you're going to go ahead and go to the next line, and we're going to have a body tag. So with this, I'd like to use a style, and I'm going to have a background color for the form so it looks nicer. So I'm going to make it background color in quotation marks. And I'll make the color, let's see, what color should I do? I'll make it red. Okay, so once you've chosen a color, just go ahead and put a semicolon at the end, quotation marks, and then close it with a right arrow. So I'm going to go ahead, skip a line, you should do that too, and then make a form tag so we can basically make our form. Click and then type in action equals welcome.php. So what this basically does is when a user submits the form, it basically sends them back an input of what's going on. So it'll be saying like, welcome to this, your name and your email, blah blah blah. So we're gonna go ahead and use the method post. So basically there's two methods to making a form. One method is the post method as I've typed here, and the other one is the get method. Most developers use the post method because it's safer and it's case sensitive, and the get method isn't. But you can still use the get method and get the same result with the form, but it's just less safer. So next we're gonna have the form be validated. So we're gonna use the span tag and then class equals error. So what this basically does is tell the user if they've made an error in typing the information or they haven't typed anything. And then the next thing we're going to do is have a PHP tag, and we're going to echo what the basic error is, and this will make the field required. So we're going to put name and then ERR, which basically makes it required, and then semicolon, question mark, and then the right arrow. And finally, we're going to close the span tag. So once you've closed the span tag, go ahead and go to the next line and have two break tags. So what this basically does is, skip a line between the form and basically like name, email, etc. So what we're going to next do is, actually, I've made an error here. So what you had to do first is have the name, and we're going to use the input type equals text. So basically this lets the user type in text as their input in the text field of their name. So once you've done that, type in name. Okay, type in name equals, in quotation marks, name. So what this basically does is let the user type in a name and not numbers. So now we have obviously the validated the name field. After this, we're going to have two break tags. So once you entered the break tags, go ahead and go to the next line, and we're going to have a comment or email. So this will let the user enter an email so that we can contact them back after they've submitted their form. So input is going to be the same thing. Type is going to equal text, just like above. So what we're going to do for the name here is it's going to be email. This allows them to enter an email and not just text such as their name. And this allows them to use symbols. Next, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to validate it by just copying this span tag. Again, we're going to paste it down here. And we're going to end it with two break tags. Okay, so next thing we can do is have a comment. So what the comment basically does is allow them to enter text such as, if they have any questions or any concerns they have. So what we can do here is have a text area, which will basically be like a text box, if you can say so. And the name is going to equal comment, just like above, as you've seen with email being text here. And what we're going to do is have rows and columns. So this basically shows how big the display of the text box is going to be. So we can limit how big it's going to be and how big it's going to show up on the whole form, so it doesn't take up, for say, the whole page. So we're going to type in rows and then equals. I'm going to do, let's say, 6 rows, and then columns, I'm going to do 40 columns or 45 columns. So we're just going to put it in quotation marks, and then we're going to close it, and then we're going to close the text area tag. Okay, so once you close the text area tag, the next step is to have radio buttons. So I'll be explaining what radio buttons are in a second. So basically, radio buttons are these things that you enter in forms. So when you have like a button that says yes and a button that says no. If you don't get what I mean, here, I'll show you. So basically, this is a radio button, as you can see right here. It allows you to pick which option, like yes, no, maybe, male or female. This is actually a good sample of what we're going to be doing. Okay, so now if you go back to Notepad, you can just finish up typing this, and remember to have break tags at the end. This is very important as it keeps everything neat and not all combined. Next thing we're going to do is have gender. So gender is basically going to be the thing with the radio buttons. We're going to have input, and the type is going to be radio. So yeah, make the type radio, and then we're going to have name equals gender, so people can enter their gender in or pick one of the values. So basically, we're gonna have two values. One is male and female. Oops, it's in caps lock. Value equals male, and then we're gonna close this, and then write male at the end. Once you've done that, go ahead to the next line, and we're gonna basically type the same thing in. You can copy paste this or just type it again and change the gender. So I'm gonna just go ahead and type it again so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So again, gender, and then the value this time is gonna be female, and we're gonna close it and write female at the end. So once you've done that, we're gonna obviously validate it and make it so it can check for errors. So we're gonna just copy paste this just like we've done above, and then once you've done that, make sure it lines up with all the the left side of the whole text. So once you've done that, enter, and then we're gonna enter two break tags just like we've done the whole time. And finally, we're gonna have a submit button. So a submit button will let the user submit the form so we can view it. So we're gonna go ahead and put input, and this is very simple, and type, and then we're gonna have equals submit. So this will allow them to submit, as I said before. And then finally, we're going to close the form with the closing tag, and then skip a line, and we're going to close the body tag. And finally, we're going to finish it with closing the HTML tag. And you must make sure that you enter all these tags at the end so you don't make any errors. And once you've checked that everything is correct, just go ahead and click save. You can do that by clicking Control S or going down here and clicking save. So once you've done that, you can go ahead and resize this window so it'll take about half of your screen and not the whole screen. And then you're going to go ahead to run and launch in Chrome. And I'm going to resize this. So as you can see, here's our notepad. By using our style, we made the background color of the form red. And using this, we have our name here. So I'm just going to type in my name, and So I'm just gonna type in my name, as I've said before again, and then type in an email. I'm just gonna type in QWERTY because that's a random email. So here's our text box. We obviously have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows by 45 columns, and you can resize this in the form as you need if you type in more stuff, but we're not gonna worry about that because we're not gonna type in that much. And here's our radio buttons. This is basically where you can pick gender. So I'm gonna go ahead and click submit. Obviously, the form won't submit because we don't have a service set up to accept the form yet. So that's basically it for creating a PHP form. Thanks for watching the tutorial. Stay tuned. Bye.